think there's a peaceful tone through the whole album where it's like even though you speak a very heavy truth, but it's like if we can feel that you went through it and you talk about something now you know what your darkness is made of, and you just talk about it with which makes it even more powerful, I think.
I don't know if I know what my darkness is made of, but I think that I'm ready to embrace it, not to become that darkness, but to embrace it to the point where light is possible. So sometimes when you're avoiding that's when you're becoming so depressed, so sad, and I think that's who I was. And I always dealt with depression back to when I was a kid, but it's part of who you are, so you just manage. And while you manage things, you tend to have a different words to talk about things, so then they're not coming back at you, even if they're hunting you down. So, and when just embracing it, I think really allowed me to welcome lights in a way that I never really experienced maybe before, or wanted before, or was willing before. I don't know, but that's how I managed that. And it's funny because even like in one of our good friends who's got like a festival in the Festival de la Santé Mentale, Roger. And he asked me if we wanted to play As Your Favorite Enemies for the last edition. And it was so difficult for me to say no because I really love him, and I really embrace what they're doing, and I really, really love those guys. They're awesome. But I was, just like I told him at one point, because he kept waiting, and dude, do you want it or not? And then I told him, like, I'm not ready to go back on stage and to do that, I don't think it would have been right at this point, just like, oh, well, just like those bands are doing like festivals once in a while for a paycheck, or just to get a little taste of it again. So, I mean, art is so completely different. And so it had to be real. And that record, the way it's been crafted and the whole process and everything, it's real enough for me to know that I've been, I walked a certain distance, and I can call it like a very honest project.
Wow.
So, which I never really felt all the time.
And was it when you wrote, having said all this, in the last song it says, I will conquer darkness and make it shine. Was it when you wrote that you said, okay, now I can, I went through all of this, and this I can share about all what I went through now?
I don't know. I don't even remember when I wrote that that text. Maybe it was the first one.
Wow.
But it's something that, when I'm writing, and if I want to be honest, that would have been like a perfect ending, just like, yes, of course, it was like the end of the process, and it was really thought of, and, just like, yeah, that was the perfect ending. But because the way I'm writing, sometimes it's a projection, maybe sometimes it's something that you wish so much for yourself, or that you're really, sometimes there's I tend to, before I was into believing that prayers was the most intense and intimate way to express emotions. But there's another level to that, because sometimes it's when you're so desperate, and there's not, even if when you're praying, it's, you don't believe in your own echoes anymore. And so sometimes with those words, it's just like something that this is what you want to live, more than this is what I'm living. And at one point, it doesn't matter which you know, is it before, after, through, at the end, you know, this is like, oh, I realize, or is it something that is this like wishful thinking? It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't, it does, and because it doesn't have to matter. What the context of when you're writing something, when it's honest, it could be like complete illusion. Maybe I wrote it and it was, you know, only like looking at other people being happy and me being so out of it. But it doesn't matter, really, because you're able to see that and you're able to confess that and you're able to the point where you're taking the time to write it down. So it's already in motion somehow. So it doesn't have to be that perfect ending, you know, the Sixth Sense kind of movie. Whoa, okay, this is like, here comes a twist, you know. After an hour of music, suddenly, you know, I will conquer darkness and make it shine. Ah, well, you know, great, good job. So that's the perfect ending. But no, I honestly, this is not how I see things anyway, you know. It's not that clear. Maybe it will be, but it's not the way I see things. So, but it's a perfect ending though. So just don't tell anyone if I'm saying in another in an upcoming interview if I'm talking about this and it's a different story. Let's keep it between.
Today was the
exactly
the real answer, the one that matters.
And later on I would say like, yeah, even before the way I was seeing this, but then after that I went back and I realized that all those dates, you know, that was the last, you know, the last piece of writing, and it all suddenly made sense.
Nice.